This guided practice video will give you a chance to practice finding and correcting pronoun antecedent agreement errors. You'll be able to compare your answers to mine. This video will work best and you will get the most out of this video if you pause when you are instructed, correct the sentences, and then resume the video to make sure that your corrections are indeed accurate. So let's begin with the first example. Marcia practiced blank piano lessons. What I want you to do in all of these examples is fill in the blank with an appropriate pronoun. If you're having a hard time finding the pronoun, refer to this chart that you've seen in other videos that you should have copied into your notes. If you haven't copied this chart into your notes yet, now would be a good time to pause the video and do so. So let's go back to our first example. Marcia practiced blank piano lessons. Let's focus on only this example for now. Pause the video, fill in the blank with the correct pronoun, and resume the video when you're ready. So how'd you do? Well, in this example, to find our antecedent, we would ask whose piano lessons these are. So we know our antecedent is the word Marcia. If we can't figure it out from here, because we know, since I asked whose piano lessons they are, we need a possessive pronoun that matches Marcia, we would look at our chart and we would see that we need a first person, singular, possessive pronoun that refers to a human being. So the answer should be Marcia practiced her piano lessons. Let's do the next two in one pause. So the first two sentences I want you to complete are as follows. Demetria and Janice eat pizza with blank coworkers every day, and the jury reached blank decision based on strong circumstantial evidence. Find the correct pronouns for both of those sentences. Pause the video now, and then when you're ready, come back and check your answers. So in our first example here, we have Demetria and Janice eat pizza with blank coworkers every day. To figure out who my antecedent is, I'm going to ask whose coworkers are they? Well, they are Demetria and Janice's coworkers. This is an example of a compound antecedent, or two things joined by and. I know these are plural. Because I also asked whose coworkers are they, I also know that I need a possessive pronoun. So I need a plural possessive pronoun that fits Demetria and Janice. And so that would be the pronoun there. If I couldn't get that on my own, I would go down to my chart and I would find a third person, because I'm talking about two other people, plural possessive pronoun. My choice between there and theirs, I chose there. Then I have the jury reached blank decision based on strong circumstantial evidence. Well, who reached the decision? The jury. This is an example of an antecedent that is a collective noun. We're only talking about one jury, even though a jury is made up of multiple people. So I know it's singular. I also know that I need a possessive pronoun in here because I'm trying to figure out whose decision was made. So a singular possessive pronoun that fits the thing jury is its. Again, if I had struggled with this, I could have looked at my chart and found a third person singular possessive pronoun, but I need to make sure it fits a thing because a jury is a thing. We have two more. Let's do these both with the same pausing of the video. So I have the sentence, neither Yvonne nor Patrick shoveled the snow, blank didn't have the energy to do it, and everyone needs to pay for blank bills separately. At this point, pause the video, pick out the pronouns that fit in both of those sentences, and resume the video when you're done. Let's start with the first example. Neither Yvonne nor Patrick shoveled the snow. Blank didn't have the energy to do it. To find my antecedent, I'm going to ask who didn't have the energy to do it. And my answer is neither Yvonne nor Patrick. This is an example of a sentence where your antecedent is joined by the word nor. I have two antecedents to choose from, so the rule is to choose the antecedent closest to the pronoun. And in this case, that is Patrick. So now I know I have a singular, male, third person pronoun because I'm speaking about somebody else. But what type of pronoun do I need? How do I know if I need a subject, possessive, or object pronoun? Well, let's look at the other sentence. Blank didn't have the energy to do it. Oh, that blank is the subject. So I need a singular, male, third person subject pronoun. Well, that would be the word he. And I guess I should probably capitalize that since I'm starting a sentence. Again, if I couldn't find that quickly on my own, I would just look at my chart. and I would look for a third person singular subject male pronoun, and that would be he. Our last example says everyone needs to pay for blank bill separately. So to find my antecedent, I'm going to start by asking, whose bill are we paying for? Well, whose bill? Everyone's bill. So everyone is my antecedent. This is an example of an indefinite pronoun as an antecedent. And remember, an indefinite pronoun means that we aren't referring to anything specific. We don't know how many it is. We don't know what gender it is. So we treat it as singular and as having both genders. So now I know I'm talking about someone else. So I need something third person. I need it to refer to a human, and I need it to be singular. I also ask the question, whose bill is being paid for, which means it's possessive. So looking at my chart, I would go down to third person singular possessive that refers to a human. I have his, her, and its. But remember, with indefinite pronouns, we don't know if we're speaking about a male or a female. So I need to say, everyone needs to pay for his or her bill separately. I really hope that you took the time to pause the videos and answer these questions on your own. If your answers were not correct, review the videos on pronouns and antecedents and pronoun antecedent agreement again. And if you're still stuck, reach out to your instructor.